So, let me ask you something. Where's your money right now? I mean, really? Is it tucked away in some physical vault? Probably not, right? For most of us, our entire financial identity, our savings, our credit, our ability to buy anything is digital. And that makes cybersecurity way more than just an IT problem. It's about protecting the very foundation of our modern lives. Today, we're going to dig into the threats, the staggering costs, and what's really at stake.
Okay, let's start with a number. 29,000. That's how many brand new, never-before-seen security vulnerabilities were found in 2023. Just 2023. This isn't some static problem we can just solve once. It is a relentless, constantly changing threat where the battlefield, well, it resets every single day.
So, to really get a handle on the risks, we've got to first wrap our heads around a huge idea about our financial world today and just how completely digital it's become.
You know, this is a really fundamental shift in how we need to think about things. It's not that banks just use computers anymore. The whole system of moving money and storing our wealth is a network of computers. Every transaction, every balance, every investment, it's all just data, ones and zeros, zipping around the globe.
And all of this creates what the experts call a massive attack surface. The best way to think about it is like a fortress. Every single time we add a new online service or cloud server or let someone work from home, it's like we're adding another door or window to that fortress. Sure, it gets more convenient, but it also gets a whole lot harder to defend.
All right, so we've got this giant digital world, but why is the financial sector specifically such a magnet for criminals? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple.
It really just comes down to that old saying, you follow the money. And in our digital age, the most valuable assets on the planet, our cash and our personal data, are all held by financial institutions. This is the modern-day bank vault, and it's where the world's most sophisticated digital bank robbers are focusing all their energy.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The data backs this up completely. Take a look at phishing. You know those scammy emails trying to steal your info? Nearly a quarter of all of them are aimed directly at finance. That's a bigger slice of the pie than any other industry.
And it's not just phishing either. When you look at all attacks on what we call critical infrastructure, the systems that keep society running, an incredible 45% of them are pointed right at financial institutions. Think about that. Nearly half. The focus on them is just intense.
Okay, so we've established the why. We know finance is a massive target. Now let's get into the how. How are these attackers actually breaking in? What does the modern playbook look like?
You might think it's all about some super genius hacker breaking complex code, but look at this number, 98%. That's right, almost every single cyber attack involves what's called social engineering. And all that means is they're exploiting us, our psychology. Attackers know it's just way easier to trick a person than it is to crack a super secure computer system. The weakest link, it's not the software, it's us.
And the number one weapon in their arsenal? Phishing. That urgent email that looks like it's from your bank, or that weird text with a link. And its effectiveness is just off the charts. For pretty much any breach that happens because someone made a mistake, you can bet it started with a phishing attempt. We're talking 80 to 95% of the time. It's just incredible.
Then you've got ransomware. This is basically a digital hostage situation. Malicious software gets into a network, locks up all the files with encryption, and then criminals demand a huge payment to give you the key. It can completely paralyze an entire organization in the blink of an eye.
And if you think this is some rare, once-in-a-blue-moon event, think again. In 2024, a majority, a full 65% of financial organizations around the globe said they got hit with a ransomware attack. This isn't some rare disaster anymore. It's become a routine cost of doing business.
And finally, there's something called credential stuffing. This is exactly why you hear don't reuse your passwords all the time. Criminals get a list of usernames and passwords from some old data breach, like a social media site, and then they use bots to try those same combos on banking sites. That one-week password you used years ago, that can literally be the key that lets them walk right into your most important accounts.
So, what happens when one of these attacks actually works? The consequences are massive, and they go way beyond a technical headache. Let's talk about the price tag of failure, because it is staggering.
Let's put a number on it. $6.08 million. That's the average cost for a single data breach in finance in 2024. And get this, that's 22% higher than the average cost for any other industry. The stakes and the costs are just plain higher here.
Now, that huge number breaks down into two buckets. First, you've got the direct costs you'd expect, paying experts to figure out what happened, paying fines. But the real killer? It's often the indirect costs, the trust you lose from your customers, the damage to your brand's reputation. That's the kind of stuff that can haunt a company for years.
And we're not just talking about feelings here. This hits the bottom line hard. The average company that gets breached actually loses market value and sees its sales growth slow right down. It's proof that investors and customers, well, they have long memories.
But here's the thing. The story doesn't stop with the company's balance sheet. For so many of us, a corporate data breach is just the beginning of a much more personal nightmare: identity theft.
Check out this number, $12.7 billion. That's how much money was lost to fraud by regular people like you and me in 2024 alone. This isn't the bank's problem anymore. This is money being ripped straight out of people's lives. And you can literally draw a straight line from point A to point B. It's a simple and terrifying chain reaction. Step 1, some big company has a security failure. Step 4, an individual's life is turned upside down by fraud. The connection is direct.
So what does it actually look like when a criminal gets your identity? It's a total financial takedown. They're opening credit cards, taking out loans in your name, filing for your tax refunds, and even draining your bank accounts dry. It is a complete violation of your financial life.
But you know, we have to talk about the cost that doesn't show up on a bank statement. The real cost for a victim is the months, sometimes years, of stress and anxiety. It's spending countless hours on the phone, fighting to prove you are who you say you are, just trying to piece your life back together.
And all of this brings us to one last really big question. In a world where our financial lives are nothing more than bits of data flying across a network, whose job is it to be the ultimate guardian? Is it the big institutions that hold our data? Or is it on us, the individuals who own it? It's a tough question, and one we all need to be thinking about.